Olá, aqui here PGP from the Slow Motion Tours project, Pedro Jorge Pereira, and today I'm doing this video to talk about an aspect or an event, if you want to call it that way, or an historical aspect that I mention quite oftenly in the tours and some other actions that are developed in the range of the project. But before going into the topic of today, I'm gonna leave you the usual suggestion. If you haven't done yet, I invite you to subscribe the page, the channel, to follow also on social media, to support. It's a way to support our YouTube channel, like to give us your like, comment the video, what you think, what you know about the topic, about the subject. Also to subscribe it in order to receive the updates of the project and the new videos. So in case you don't know yet, the Slow Motion Tools project, we try to bring some to contribute to the raise of the awareness about the cultural, social, ecological relevant aspects, especially in what relates to Portugal, the Portuguese culture, but in particular when it's about Porto region. So, as I started saying, today in today's video, I'm going to talk about the Christianization, the process of Christianization of ancient pagan cults. And if you are in the area of Porto Matosinhos, one of the best, or at least one of my favorite places to speak about this process of Christianization is this one where I'm standing right now. It's called Bicas, which is situated immediately at the side of the Sra da Hora church. So Sra da Hora is also the name of a city that is part of the Concelho de Matosinhos, of Matosinhos city. And the name of the place is directly connected with the specific fountains, if you can say so. So Sete Bicas, or Nossa Senhora da Hora. There's records or evidences that this particular place was already associated to ancient pagan cults related with fertility. So the connection, I would say, it's pretty much obvious. So there's the connection between water, spring as a source of fertility, of a source of life. And in this particular case, we have 7 fountains. So there's a very strong importance in this element, in the element 7. So 7 is related with the 7 set sacraments. So now the bell is ringing. So also the 7 virtues and the 7 days of the week. So there's a very symbolic meaning in the number 7. But what's interesting with this place is that although there was and that's a fact, although there was already a pagan cult, pre-Roman, if you want to say, probably already Celtic cult of, probably I would say, some godness even related with water. I don't know all the entire pagan and Celtic pantheon, but it's likely that there was some name. And it's like one of these good examples. There's like this saying, if you cannot defeat them, then join them. So when the Catholic Church was spreading and the process of Christianization of the societies and the civilizations that existed here before happened, they obviously realized that there were already some traditions, some rituals that were so deep into people's culture that they wouldn't be able to just totally erase them as they did with plenty others. So in this case, they realized that the best strategy would be to shape them or to reuse them or reshape them in order to have some kind of Catholic shape or features, and to integrate them in the Christian cult. So in this case, we have these fountains and this Nossa Senhora da Hora, the Boa Hora. So Boa Hora in Portuguese stands for, if you literally translate it, will be something like the good hour. And in this case, it refers to the process, to the labor work. So when a woman is giving birth, and obviously nowadays, of course, the infantile mortality is much lower than it used to be, but in the past it was not like that. So give birth was extremely, there were a lot of risks. Quite oftenly, pregnant women were dying, or the baby, or the woman. So it was, of course, a very unpredictable moment where there was a very high risk that the things would go, let's say, wrong. So as usual, like when there were some elements or facts that people could not control, then they would try to appeal to divine protection. So there's this Nossa Senhora da Boa Hora. So it's what we call culto mariano, so like a Marian cult, so related with Mary. So it's in a certain way. I mean, I'm not an expert in religion, but from what I understand from it, it's like an basically different versions of Virgin Mary. And my theory is that these different versions are basically, again, this process of christianization of ancient godnesses. So like in this case, or in some other cases, sometimes if there was some godness related with protection towards some specific element, then they would create something like this. So like the Nossa Senhora, so basically Our Lady of, in this case, for example, Boa Hora. But there are plenty, there are like dozens of Nossa Senhoras all over the place in the Catholic world. Normally there's a Nossa Senhora for many different sorts of circumstances, like Nossa Senhora da Guia, for example. Nossa Senhora da Guia is also like it's a case normally related with the fisherman and the sailor. So guia is like, comes from the word guiar, so like guide us. And normally they were very common, like by the coast, obviously, as you can imagine. So there's this recommendation: if you don't know these fountains, come and visit them. They are quite interesting. The construction of this fountain was actually, this fountain that you can see right now was in 1893. So it's more than 100 years old. But the cult itself, it's actually, it's even like difficult to know exactly the date, because it's for sure quite old. And we can say with a lot of safety that it's already a pre-Roman cult. So there's a very also nice park here. And the interesting thing is like that this place is situated just some few meters distance from the metro stop, Sete Bicas, so that's the name of the place, and also from North Shopping, so the big shopping center where there's a lot of people going to participate in the consumption society. So anyway, probably many people pass here or already passed very nearby, but they don't know that this place exists. And this place is somehow extremely important in what relates to Sra da Hora. So, what else to say? There's the interesting element about the virtues and the properties of these waters. So these waters were considered to have really some very important, like, healing properties. And when there was this process related with the Christianization, there were like records, and many of them, or a lot of the information that we have nowadays, let's say the written sources that we have, normally they are something that in Portuguese we call crónicas paroquiais. So normally paroquia refers to the area that it's administrated by a certain church. So normally it's not totally surprising if you realize that even until the 20th century, maybe you don't know, but when the 25th of April of 1974 happened, actually about one third of the Portuguese population, they were basically analphabet. They didn't know to write or to read. So normally, and if you go even back in time, like to the 19th century, of course this percentage was much higher, which means that normally um, to write and to read was something like a privilege from highest social classes, like the nobility and also the church. So that's why many of the important historical sources that we have, they are actually in the churches, like in these Crónicas Paroquiais. In this case, I was mentioning the Crónicas Paroquiais because there was some Crónica Paroquial referring to this place, and the preach was saying that there's some fountains and describing, but as far as you know, they didn't have any special properties. So in a certain way, was trying to diminish the importance of the cult, but which is a bit different from this strategy of just trying to reshape them or adapt to the Catholic cult. So in this case, it was just trying to diminish the importance. Besides of this place of Sete Bicas, so one might ask why the place lost a lot of its importance, and why this water somehow they were not so used anymore. And the reason is also related with a more recent events in the history of this place, and related with the industrialization. So now we are I'm filming in the period that we have the festas Nossa Senhora da Hora, so it's like when there is the festivities. And this cult used to be in the past extremely important, and much more important than it is for sure nowadays. There's still a cult, so there's this fair taking place with all these barracks selling food, and with different sorts of entertainment. But in the past, they had importance and a dimension that competed even with the festivities of Nosso Senhor Matosinhos. So the festivities of Nosso Senhor Matosinhos are just about to begin. So I'm filming in May, and in the weekend they will start. And in the past, there was the dimension of the festas of Nossa Senhora da Hora. They were about almost as important as the festas Nossa Senhora de Matosinhos. It is not like that nowadays. Also the place was quite in the center of a process of industrialization. So one of the most important factories that settled in this place was the Efanor. So Empresa Fabril do Norte, they were specialized in producing, I always have a hard time to say it in English, but basically these lines that you use for sewing and for sewing clothes, so carrinhos de linha in Portuguese. And what we can see on the bottom there is basically what used to be the main ovens of the factory. Fortunately, well, the factory itself was demolished, but as it is part of the archaeological heritage, somehow they decided, fortunately, to preserve this place. And so when you pass, you can visit, you can see what remains from Efanor. Besides of that, we have so the festivity going on, and well, that's it. So if you didn't know about the importance of the festas Nossa Senhora da Hora, also of this place, then I recommend you to take some time and to come to see the fountains. I'm not going to recommend to drink the water, because I think nowadays it might be not so safe, because this is actually one very industrialized, well, not nowadays, not necessarily industrialized, but actually urbanized area. So Senhor da Hora is one of the main cities that make part of the Porto area. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. So if you were surprised somehow, if there was some elements that you didn't know, please feel free also to share it and to share it with your contacts. And that's it. Again, if you are not following the channel yet, so I invite you to do so. Leave your comments, what you think, what surprised you, and thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to see you on the next video of the project, and even more important, hopefully to looking forward to walk with you in one of our tours or in one of the sessions of the Academy of the Portuguese Social Cultural Studies. If you want to know more about these activities, please subscribe or join our communication channels. And that's it. Enjoy, explore the places, and até breve. Explore in a slow motion always. So até breve.